Hey guys, welcome to Reality with T. Thank you for joining me for the Marriage Bootcamp Reality Stars Hip Hop Edition season finale. And I'm going to be honest, let me put down my tea. I'm kind of happy that it's over because I don't know that I'm going to be reviewing this if they have any more. Because, I mean, I probably will, but right now I'm just so disappointed in the lack of. I just don't feel like the professionals are really that professional. You know, you have the judge there, you have the psychiatrist, and I just don't like the way that they're running it. I think that, and I'll get to Tahiri in a minute, that whole situation wasn't handled correctly, and I think that this is more for entertainment. So, either way. Okay, so let's get started. We start with Hazel. Remember at the end of last episode, she's going off. Who did you have dancing on you? He's drunk. He's, falling over. And, who did you have dancing? This whole, big thing. And granted, she is very immature at times. I like Hazel. I think that sometimes she has pretty good insight. I like that, she came with drama with Shonda, but when her man and Shonda's man were fighting, she and her being pregnant, she grabbed Shonda back and was like, "Don't get into that, don't get into that," even though they weren't getting along. Like sometimes she does things where I'm like, okay, she has some kind of sense, but other times she just acts very immature. So maybe her and a 25-year-old are, match made in heaven. But either way, she's going off. He's drunk. Ends up, Phaedra walks in and says, "This looks like his throw up on his pants." You know what I mean? And then she kind of calms down. She takes care of him and ends up back in the room with the girls. So, her issue, they did the lie detector test a couple episodes ago, and her question was, is he using me for clout? And he says no for the lie detector, but it was found out that was deceptive. So he doesn't even know what that means. He says he's confused. I guess he has no idea why, she, walks off so upset, ends up crying, the whole thing. She feels played and used. She doesn't want to be with somebody who only wants to be with her. She says for clout, as if she's like this big celebrity, but basically she feels like she put him on. He has a modeling career. He's blogging, the whole thing. Nobody knew who you were before you got with me. Are you with me to get famous? I had you all on my Instagram, this whole thing. He's confused. He doesn't know why she's upset. I guess he thinks he passed the test and he didn't. So, she spends the day kind of upset. People are trying to console her, the whole thing. And, because basically she wants to be loved. She doesn't have great self-esteem. She wants somebody to love her for her. She wants somebody who wants to be with her for who she is and not just because she is semi-famous. So, I guess she called her mom at one point, and then the next day she wakes up and she tells the girls, like, "Listen, my mother just said to put him on the contract. Basically I'm helping build his career and I should get a percentage. And if he signs this means that he is not with me for clout." That's what she says. So, she says, "Well, I've been in a relationship before without the best intentions in the beginning." So I'm thinking like, so you're saying you're okay knowing that somebody is with you without the best intentions, and you're willing to accept that, which is pretty much the least, just because you don't want to be lonely. She says she's confident that he loves me, but she wants to make sure, I guess, if he signs this contract and gives me a percentage, that means that he is not with me only because of what I can give him. So they go to the ring ceremony. And he comes with no shirt on, like, you're a whole adult, but whatever, you don't wear a shirt. And she says, so that I don't feel completely played, I need you to sign this contract. And he signs it without even reading it. She just says, "Look, this sign right here." What he doesn't know is that he signed over 30% of all of his earnings. So, like they said, she owns him. That was a bad contract. 30%. Even Kris Jenner only takes 10% from Kim Kardashian. And then she's a real celebrity. So, that was dumb of him. But again, he's young and she has control over him. And even the doctor said, "Dang, you want this much control over him?" The issue already that you have is that she's a mother figure. She's controlling. I guess it works for both of them. But he ends up afterwards, like, they find out that Phaedra helped her. She's a lawyer. She helped her to get the contract together. And afterwards, he's like reading, like, "What did I sign? 30%? Oh, damn." But whatever. I guess it worked for them because they're still together. They have a beautiful baby, and I believe they're married. So great for them. But it just does make me sad that her self-esteem is so low. It's like, I'm just going to accept whatever. I'm going to have in a relationship, I want to sign a business contract over you. And somehow that'll give me some kind of security that you really love me and you're into me. And then to even acknowledge he might not be with me for the best intentions, but I'm still going to keep him around. But I just can't. I feel bad, but there are people in the world like that, so it's sad. So Fedra Medina, she was asked, does she want a sexual relationship with Medina? And she says no. And the lie detector found out that she told the truth. So, the doctor's telling her, it's okay to be single, Basically, nobody thought this relationship was real anyway, so that didn't surprise us. And so when they showed up, Medina basically didn't give her a ring. He said, I don't think you're ready for a man like me. And she did give him a ring because she said, I was hopeful, you're a nice guy. I was hopeful that it could go somewhere. But basically, he says to her, if and when you are ready, if I'm available at that time in the future, maybe we can try this again. But right now is not the time. And then they kind of say, we'll always be friends. So normally, if somebody doesn't get a ring, they ask them to leave the premises. But they said, because this is what the decision you should have made in the beginning. Yeah, you guys just go back into the house and talk to your friends, blah, blah, blah. So Shonda and Willie, they asked Willie if he could ever truly be faithful to Shonda. He said yes, and they found out that that was the truth. And they asked Shonda, do you think that you could ever really forgive him for cheating? And she said yes. And they have the answer, but they gave it to her. They said, it's in the letter. You can open it at your will or not open it at all. So she took it, and at the ring ceremony, they both got a ring. And I believe later on, she says that she could actually, I think they opened the letter and they said, yes, she could, forgive him for cheating in the past and fully move forward. And, they work on their relationship, and she not keep harping on his infidelities in the past. All right. So then you have, I think that's it. It's only 4 couples. Yeah, because Corrupt and then left. So Tahiri and Vado. So, we hear her talking. I don't like her. Her. She has something about, I don't know if it's her voice. It just seems so cheesy. The way she talks as if she is on Love and Hip Hop, you know what I mean? The extra animation, the like overconfidence, the preachy way she talks. It seems so scripted and just kind of dramatic. And I just don't find her to be authentic. And I don't think this relationship was ever authentic, because her whole thing is, me and Vado can always be friends. And I think that's all they were in the beginning. They were friends. I never saw a relationship between them. So, her question was, Tahiri, do you accept physical violence as normal in your life? And she said no. And it was found out that that was deceptive. Because I think that in her head, she thinks, no, to be the strong woman, no, I don't accept physical violence as like pretty much a baseline in every relationship in my life. But really, she does. You know what I mean? I think that's what she was supposed to say. But she ends up, she's lying, because you actually do accept at least a small amount of domestic violence in your life and violence. So, his question was, is he really sorry for putting his hands on her? And Tahiri was given a letter. You can either open it now or never open it at all, whatever. So when she gets to the ring ceremony, Vado shows up and she has this whole speech. I'm going to stand up for all the women that are looking up to me. I'm going to stand up for all the women that have people put their hands on them, and this was wrong, and this whole big speechy thing. And I'm going to keep my ring because it's self-love. And, the way she talks and the whole thing. And Vado's kind of like, are you serious? Y'all brought me up here for this? And so then, she said she never opened the envelope because she didn't want it to sway her decision. And, she says, I threw apples. You could have just thrown them back, but instead you put your hands on me, which is so flawed. She never at one point in this entire show had to take accountability for the fact that you should have never thrown apples in his face to begin with. And then you're going to say you don't accept violence in your life, but then you say so easily, well, you should have thrown apples back at me. That's abusive. It's abusive from your standpoint. It's abusive from his standpoint. Like, what are you talking about? You at some point you should have said, I should have never thrown apples. And she should have acknowledged that that is what precipitated him to react to her or to respond to her. They were both wrong, but this is where the doctors and Judge Lynn and everybody else, where they got it wrong. You kept reaffirming her that what she did that was wrong. You kept making her think, oh, you did nothing wrong, you did nothing wrong. You kept confirming for her that her initial violence was fine, and that's what she's going to take from this. And so when you say you don't accept, this little baseline of violence in a relationship, you are violent. So yes, you do accept it, and you precipitate it. So that's all I have to say about her. Okay, so she says, it's not normal. She felt like it's not normal for her not to be afraid of him, because again, she accepts violence in her life, and she is speaking for women that think it is okay. So she went her whole life without, and at the end she says she went her whole life without the tools to walk the world with, which I thought was good, because I think at the end they started asking them, like, what did you take anything from marriage boot camp? And she says, yeah, she went her whole life without tools to walk in this world with. And that's how almost everybody, that's how everybody is right now. This whole idea of therapy and everybody going to therapy and a counselor, this is new. So nobody ever had the tools. You know what I mean? We're just kind of winging it. But now we are given tools. The point is, are we going to use them? The tools of how to communicate effectively, how to communicate your anger without getting violent, how to, be there for other people, how to listen empathetically, how to listen actively, which is what nobody did for Corrupt's wife or Corrupt's girlfriend. Remember, she went to everybody in that household. Instead of people actually listening to her, they were trying to give her advice. You do this. I've been there. Da, da, da. That's the thing that we do. Nobody has ever taught you how to actually listen to somebody, or to be to tune into people and say, this person is just trying to be heard. This person is hurt, and we need to listen and not give her what we've been through. You know what I mean? And that's why she was getting up, walking to everybody else, going in there, knocking the federal. This is what happened. Nobody's listening to this woman. She could have exploded, because at this point, and even the doctors watching all this, you never sat down and listened to her. Everybody's trying to give her advice, and that's not what she needed at that time. So that's it for Tahiri. And then Vado left, and I think he's upset. And his thing was, I think that they're still going to be friends, but I think that they were just friends in the beginning. So whatever. I'm kind of over Marriage Boot Camp. I like it. I like these kind of shows because I get to see, interpersonal relationships. I like to see how the doctors respond, and the advice that they, I shouldn't say advice, the tools that they give these, the clients to use in their daily lives, and how to overcome some of the things they're dealing with. But I just don't find this show, because it's more built on drama, I don't find it to be, the most effective show to do that for me. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see who's on the next one. Maybe I want to see the drama between the next crew of folks, but we'll see. But other than that, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next show. Thank you. Bye bye.